Hello. I'm sorry.
Hello.
I think your cameras are off. And Kara, Kara, your microphone is off too. You guys, I think I was in the wrong Zoom room. Um and I had left and I came back. So I'm like, well, maybe I don't know what's not nobody's here. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm late, but I wasn't, but I am. But
We're here.
maybe I need to pivot that thought. I'm not sorry. I'm actually very happy and grateful that you guys have so much patience. Uh, oh my goodness.
There we go.
Okay. No worries. Well, thank you for coming. I am really excited about starting this challenge and doing this challenge. It's been a long time since I've done it myself, and so it's good for me too. Um, just one second. Let's see.
There she's back.
Think so. Let's see. I think what I did is I don't know if that's gonna help.
I don't know if you go to participants, I don't know if you can, um, you can't change her microphone.
No, all I can do is ask her to start her microphone, ask her to start her webcam, but um I don't know. There's not any other way for me to,
I know. She just said, sorry, I'm figuring out my mic.
no worries.
Oh, it's all right.
We'll figure it out. Oh, admit.
There's another one.
Is there is this Kara? Is this Kara?
This is
I
Lorraine.
Lorraine, hi.
Hi, hon.
We're just trying to get some technical stuff figured out here. Sorry about the delay. I was in the room waiting and I realized, am I in the right room? Nobody's here. So I started it over and then there was people. So I think I was in the wrong room. And I pulled these cards. You guys are gonna laugh so hard. So I pulled cards. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna pull cards for, for our group tonight. And I pulled a card that says deep freeze. And I'm like, oh, what does that mean? And then ghost lands. And I'm like, and then stuck in the mud. And I'm like, what does this what does this mean? Am I being ghosted? That's what I thought. But I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm just gonna wait patiently. But really, literally, what this actually means is with the deep freeze, it's like really taking time to be still, being able to be more mindful, and really is about stopping where you're at, reflecting on it, and then being able to pivot into something that is empowering. So we're not no longer stuck in the mud, So no, we're no longer stuck in the same patterns that we're kind of we tend to get into in our thinking mind. And so I really feel like I'm gonna have to look up what ghost lands means though, because I don't know about that one. Kara, I hope you're getting this figured out. Okay. Um, It says, whenever you set your sights too far ahead, you run the risk of losing your footing. For rarely do present and future match up exactly. The future has no substance. It is the place has no grounding as of yet. You can't live there. Yet you can take measured steps toward a goal or a dream, and these steps are important. The same goes for nostalgia. You can look into the past wistfully and remember beautiful moments. However, you can't live there, nor can you go back and change what was. Yesterday is gone forever. Live fully in the present. The now is the most important place to put your attention. Its magic reaches out in every direction, further than the heart and the soul can see. So that really all goes together. Um, so thank you for being here. Kara, I'll just let you try to figure it out, and if it's okay, I'll just continue talking, and then hopefully when we get to space where you want to participate, you can always type too. Okay. Um, so of course I started a little bit of a slideshow just to help me know where I'm going. And sometimes maybe it's better than just seeing my face. So hold on just a second. I had my son teach me how to do this now.
They
All
usually have
right.
it.
Right? That's usually what has to happen. Mm-mm-mm. Well, okay. And then he said, go here. Okay. And then I went there. Yeah. And then I made myself smaller. He said it was too big. Okay. I'm sorry, guys. I just talk out loud. One moment. I was trying to have it all figured out before you got here, but apparently it doesn't save, or I just don't know how to do that yet. So, okay, share. Okay. And then,
There you go. Yes.
yay, I think I did it now. Is there anything in the way of what I'm doing? Because he said that I had to sometimes
You're
move
you're
things or
just in a
something.
small corner of it.
Is that, I mean, we don't, that's okay. I think. Um, so the empowered mindset challenge, obviously, the opening question I thought of was, what was one thought you caught yourself thinking? I know we just started yesterday, but what is one thought that you caught yourself thinking, whether you changed it or pivoted out of it or not, but that you were more aware of? Does anyone want to share?
I think for me, for the person that's on the phone, this is Lucy. Um, I think for me, I found myself being overwhelmed with things on my to-do list. And I've always been a to-do list person. And I found myself going, oh, it's too much. And identifying that and thinking, okay, how do I change a word? Um, and I was thinking about that, and it's like, oh, I have a lot, but not too much. I don't know if that's, no,
I think that's I think it's perfect. Thanks for sharing that, Lucy. I think that I've noticed that too. Thank you for pointing that out. Sometimes we're like, well, we don't know how to say this like perfectly so that it's completely in alignment or from a place of love, but it feels a lot better than what I was saying. So going from it's too much to it's a lot, I think that's a perfect transition, isn't it?
it was helpful because overwhelmed, my feeling is like, oh, and I almost get frozen. Um,
Yes.
for, versus a lot, I feel like I could put it in a line.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. No, that's perfect. I found that today, what was it that I was doing? I was trying to get all of these things out and just emails and templates and working on different things. And I'm like, all of a sudden my brain goes, is this even all worth it? Is it going to like, I think that I'm doing I actually had a very similar thought, Lucy, because I said, I think maybe I'm just doing too much. This is too much. And I said, no, I just need to understand that I'm really good at a lot of different things. And so that's why it's hard for me to pick one thing. And so it was just about knowing that I can have strengths in all kinds of areas. Now I just need to prioritize. So it actually made me say, okay, what's my priority? And then I felt a little bit better about that, you know.
Me.
Hmm. So that's interesting. I had the same similar thought today. Um, does anyone else want to share? Uh-oh, I don't know what I did. Oh, wow. Okay.
Well, Cara, I think popped off. Hopefully she'll come back in on her iPad.
I
She had
hope so.
she had tossed a note there in the chat, and she said, "Is it okay if I come in on my iPad?" I hope you don't mind. I just said, "You bet, pop off and then come on through your iPad."
Lucy, you can navigate this as much as you want because I'm still trying to figure it all out. I appreciate your help. No,
I
that's perfect.
I've taught myself a lot over the last couple of years
That's
on how to
awesome.
do it, so I
Yeah.
like to share with others.
No, I love that. Um, let's see, is there anyone else? It's okay if you don't want to share too. I guess I should say that part. Not everyone has to, but I want to make sure that I leave room. And we could always talk about more stuff in a bit as well. Just kind of waiting for Kara to get back here if she's going. I know she's going to uh, find her way back.
You'll just
Hopefully
have
it
to
works on.
consider when you see her again, when it comes up. Hopefully,
Yeah,
hopefully it'll say somebody's in the waiting room.
right. Well, we'll kind of move on to this next piece and then I'll take it slow. So we already talked about it with the cards about practicing awareness and building those like small shifts in our mindset patterns, just like you did today, Lucy, when you went from, too much to a lot. That's the perfect amount of it's a small shift, but it's a mighty shift, really. And I think that actually when I will share my story as soon as, let's see, I'm going to exit this for a moment. I'm going to stop sharing for a moment so I can see you guys. Oh, hey, is it working? I can see you.
Can you hear me?
Oh my God, there you are.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely.
Well, I gotta check my
Wow.
MacBook later another day. Oh my gosh, I don't know why it didn't work.
No worries.
Technology.
Thanks for popping on though. I appreciate it. I'm sorry. Who's on the phone again? I'm sorry.
Lorraine.
Maureen. Okay. I'm taking the names just in case. Okay. So Maureen and Kara, we were talking about small shifts and how Lucy had talked about her ability to go from it's too much to just it's a lot. So it doesn't sound like a big shift, but I mean, I think that little shifts, small shifts can be just as mighty because it's really moving you into the momentum of being able to have that higher vibrational thought that's going to lead you to more good things. I like to think of it as like if you stub your toe at the beginning of the day and you let that stub toe just really irk you off, like then you're going to get toothpaste down your shirt when you're brushing your teeth. You're going to, it's just going to snowball into more and more and more and more things. And so I actually started doing this. Boy, I would say, do you guys remember that movie or that I think it's a document that What the Bleep Do You Know? Do you remember that? It was a long time ago, 2005, 2006. I think it's on Netflix. I think you'd like it. And it just talks about basically the law of attraction. And then I got into Esther Hicks. And after Esther, I realized, you know what, she's right. We got to pivot our thoughts. So I thought to myself, I'm going to take 28 days because I know that's how long it takes to build a habit. And I am going to pivot each and every one of my thoughts to see, how well it worked. What happens? What happens? So that was in 2016. And literally my life changed completely after I did this challenge. And I've never been able, I can't say that I'm perfect and that every one of my thoughts is high vibe because we're human. That's not going to happen. But I can tell you I'm a lot more aware when I'm not thinking a high vibe thought or saying something that is of a higher vibration or an empowering thought. But it really has changed my life. After that, actually I was single at the time. I met my now husband. I moved out of the small town that I was in. I actually, my health improved. I found a new job. And this all happened within about 6 months after doing this empowered mindset, challenge for myself. There were a list of things that happened beyond that, but I can tell you that it has changed my life completely because that's also the year that I started doing readings. That is the year that I started listening to my inner voice and doing what my heart was telling me to do and letting the fear kind of sit at the sidelines because I felt more empowered. And so that's why I thought, you know what, I'm going to do a challenge and I want to help other people do the same thing. Is everyone's journey going to look the same? Absolutely not. Is it going to change your life in 6 months? Who knows? The thing is I know that it'll make a difference. I don't know how big of a difference. That's going to be up to you. And in regards to how much you really want to put into it. But any movement in that direction is a good movement. And like I said, we're on day 2. So right now we're really just acknowledging our thoughts. We're acknowledging our thoughts and really feeling into them and realizing, boy, I sure don't talk very nicely to myself sometimes. Or I don't know if you catch my post yesterday. I was at the grocery store. I'm like, oh, that girl's got really long, nice legs. I was like, I want legs like that. And then I was like, oh, wait. I got it. Okay. Ooh, I'm glad I have legs at work. Like I had to think of something to shift it. Not that I was mad at that girl, by the way, for having nice legs. I've always wanted to be tall. I have a long torso and shorter legs. But I'm thankful for my legs that work. So it's fine. You know what I'm saying? So either way, I would love to be able for this to be as interactive as possible. If you each want to share a little bit about why you're here and whatever else you want to share, that would be fantastic. Whoever wants to start. Or not. Okay, or just your name.
I'll start because I can't wait. I'm one of those, it's like, I don't mind going first. I'm Lucy, and why I was intrigued and thought this was good timing for me is 8 years ago, I lost my son. And when Max died, I've been walking this journey of finding me again after you get that identity kick in the teeth of who you thought you were, and you're a different person. And I guess I want to continue to grow. I feel very fortunate 8 years later that I have grown, and I can continue to grow. And I liked how you would put to have high vibe thoughts and high vibe speaking to people. And I volunteer in a group as a facilitator in a grief support group, and I want to get higher. I don't know if that's a realistic way to put it, but I do. I want to improve.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for sharing that with me. I think that also, I don't know, I'll just tell you what I was just feeling when you were saying it, is that I feel like as you become more empowered too, you're going to help to inspire others to be more empowered as well. And so this journey that you're taking is, I know Max is proud of you, is helping others to feel that empowerment, that sense of like purpose again. Going through such a big loss like you have, a lot of times people feel, now what's my purpose? Who am I? And Lucy, you're able to give people that power by letting them know that they still have so much value, and that their loved ones who've passed also would want that for them. And I know you can call it source spirit, whatever. I know source spirit speaks through you a lot of times when you're leading. They're just showing you this, like they're showing you this like beam of light coming through your head. And so like when you speak, sometimes I believe within this group, you may after you're done speaking, be like, whoa, I just said that? Like it came from me. It'll just come through you. And your words are so healing, Lucy. So thank you so much for what you do, because I know it makes such a big difference, and I'm so glad you're here.
Okay, I can go next since I think the other one's on the phone, right? That's what I'm
Mhm.
seeing. Okay, I'm Kara. I wanted to join to be with more like-minded people, and to just help grow and stuff. I haven't really had a chance to do that for the last over a year, probably since my husband was working day shift again, and then I used to be able to do stuff on my own at nights when he was gone working nights, and now he's back to working nights again, so I can focus on me a lot more. And he's happy to see that, because I was having a hard time balancing out stuff for me and balancing out life with him. So yeah.
Mhm.
That makes
So
such
yeah, just basically want to help, yeah, get growing again and just work and focus on healing stuff again and all that. So
and Spirit is showing me that your creativity can amp up now. And not that you don't love your husband, I just think it's that balance, like you talked about, is having that balance, right?
mhm.
And like being able to be more creative is going to give you even more spark. But even when you're in that like empowered mindset, you're going to be able to even get things done even faster. Like it's almost like things just go smoother. And it's not
Mhm.
necessarily it's like everything, like your cookies turn out perfectly in the oven, or like somebody comes and asks, can I get da 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 dozen of this, right? And you just happen to make that much. It's those kind of things that are just going to continue to flow for you. And it's amazing how isn't it kind of funny how spirit works though? They will put this contrast in front of you. So yes, your husband working days for a while and then him going back to nights where you'd be like, I really, really appreciate him working nights.
I love you, but I
Yeah,
need my time again.
yeah. And it's no longer leaving you. You're not stuck in the mud anymore. You're not feeling like you have to. It's almost, I just saw this on TikTok the other day. I didn't even know it was a thing, but I'm like, it is so me. So I don't know if you guys can relate to this, but when there are other people in the house, I can, even if I'm alone in a room doing something, I'm always aware of what the other person needs or wants. And I'm never quite as relaxed as I would be if I were home by myself.
Yes.
And and I don't know if it's like childhood, like where you like if you grew up in trauma or you always had to be on edge. Like I don't know if that's what it because that's what my childhood was a lot about. But do you see what I mean?
Mhm.
But either way, you're able to, this is just who you are. And it is what it is. But no, this is going to be beautiful for you. And I feel like it's going to actually, funny enough, be helpful for your husband as well, because you're going to be able to teach him some things. Um, Not that not that there's anything wrong. I'm just saying,
Oh,
like,
I know.
do you know, like because when I started doing this, like way back in the day, um, I had a friend that I'd go on walks with at night, and so we'd talk, and she would say a phrase, and I'd be like, oh, you mean, and then I would twist it around into something positive. She's like, yes, that's what I mean. Like you start catching other people doing it
Mhm.
too, where you want to stop them and have them pivot. I've gotten ahead of myself because I think that's in my PowerPoint. But hey, Maureen, do you have anything you would like to share? And if not, that's fine too.
This is Lorraine L.
Oh, I'm sorry, Lorraine. I apologize.
Yeah, that's fine. Um, I have lived a crazy life. I went through domestic abuse, and and now I have moved to a new location the last 3 years, and just trying to start my life all over again.
Well, welcome. I think that this is a beautiful start. Do you have anything you want to share in regards to like maybe a thought that you were cognitive of today or that you tried to shift or any kind of thought that you're thinking, how the heck do you shift out of that?
Um, I think I had my knee done in May, and I'm always trying to talk myself out of going out and walking because I think, oh, it's too far, or I'm coming up with a lot of excuses. And tonight, the farmers market was in town, and needless to say, I could have drove up a block and a half, but I made myself get out and walk.
Awesome.
Wow. That is a big, I mean, that's a really big deal because isn't it that for, have you ever noticed with like working out or walking, to me, it's like that first step is like the hardest. And so doing that tonight, I think that you accomplished a lot. It's that little shift that can make a big difference. That's awesome. Good job.
Thank you.
Uh, let me see. I'm gonna try and go back to my slides. One moment. Let's see. Said that I don't want to be too big. Okay, maybe that'll work. Appreciate your patience. All right. Let's see. Was it working?
Yep.
Yep.
Yes. So we talked about just practicing awareness to build those small shifts. And we talked about, what it is that you guys have and been trying to work on. Kara, did you get to share any of your small, maybe a
No.
thought that you were thinking? Do you have anything for us?
Yeah, I need to work on more positivity and stuff because at work, especially at work, especially with another coworker, you're so easily can bring down both yourselves and stuff, like say something negative about other coworkers and stuff. And today, like they moved to a different floor, the people next door to us, and we never really had anything good to say because they're always gone on vacation and they're not supposed to be doing that. And anyways, so we're just glad that we won't visibly see this stuff anymore, and we can work on being more positive again because we're always so negative. So we were working on that today. We're like, we're gonna be better. We're not gonna keep saying bad stuff. We're gonna be positive. So yes.
Yay. That's a big deal.
It is a big deal. Yes.
Feels like God kind of helped you out with that to make it a little bit easier.
I know, because it's just like it's so hard. Like, oh, she finally just came to work. It's 9 o'clock. That must be rough. Oh no, it's 3 o'clock. Now we got to go home early. It's just like,
It's so
oh,
easy to get into those kind of like habits though, and especially if you bond with other people over stuff like that. I'm just
yes.
saying, like it happens, right?
And it's been
So
really slow at work, so you have nothing else to focus on because it's just been kind of slow. Yeah.
it's kind of like the neighbor that's always staring at the window and always has
Yeah.
something bad to say about what's going on. Yes. No, I get that. So okay, that's good. I'm glad that you're doing it with the group. That's amazing. So we
Yeah.
need to celebrate all of this. You guys are doing phenomenal. So again, noticing your first thought or noticing your thoughts is the first thing. Um, I guess one of the other things is to, like we talked about, it can become a pattern or it can become a cycle or a habit. And so what do you do to break that habit? I think first of all, it's being aware of it, right? And then being able to tell a different story, look at it from a different perspective. One time I was caught in traffic and I could have I just really needed to get where I was going, and being all like angry about it. And then I stopped. I said, "Oh no, wait a minute." And I took a deep breath. Sometimes grounding your energy, it takes that first before you can really think about what you want to say that is or positive or think. And so wait, I'm really actually grateful for this moment in my car right now, for me to just take a moment to be silent, to be still, to be mindful, knowing that even if I'm a couple minutes late, even though I don't like to be late, everything is happening for a reason. And then I realized there's been another incident where something like that happened. And actually there was an accident up the road. And if I had been going at the, time I wanted or the speed I wanted, I would have been in that accident. So I was like, shoot, actually I should be really thankful. And so every time I get caught up for some reason, I'm like, no, this is happening for a reason. I'm actually probably safer this way. There's a reason behind it. And it doesn't always have to be something that you can make sense of in that moment. So that's how I do it. So I pivot just by simply observing the situation, taking a breath, finding something to be grateful for in that moment can be very helpful. When it has to do with a really big loss of some sort, that can be really difficult. My sister lost her job this summer and she was very angry about it. There was a lot of injustices in regards to, her losing this job. And she was very, very angry. She's felt hurt. And the first thing I said to her was, well, that's just because you're supposed to be doing something else. Of course, she didn't want to hear that point, you know,
Mhm.
but over
Wasn't ready for
time,
it.
no, but she had to process her emotions, which brings me to the point that you can't always go from hateful to happy. You can't. Like it's almost impossible actually. So if you can go from hateful to hopeful, that's a step in the right direction, or whatever it is in between. Maybe it's acceptance or whatnot. So give yourself grace for not always thinking in a place of empowered, or positive, high vibes, however you want to put it. But do make sure that you are taking a moment to assess the situation, even if you don't know why it's better or how you can turn it around. It's just being aware that you're thinking what you're thinking, realizing that that thought does not define who you are. You're almost going to that observer perspective. Okay, I see I'm feeling this way right now, but it's not going to define me. It's not going to define my day. It's not, certain people just let certain things put them in a bad mood. Ugh, done. We have to step away from it and look at it from a bigger, a higher perspective. So I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, I remember when I got let go in 2008, like half the company did. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do now? But now, fast forward to now, it was the best time of my life ever because then I still got to work part-time for another job and I made more money at that. And I got to choose my own hours and I got to go on walks and I missed that time because I got to have, it was like a touch of like what freedom can be in my own schedule and do whatever I want to do. So it was a good, I learned something from it. So it was a good thing.
Right. That's exactly what I'm saying. And it's not always something we can see right away, right? So we
Yeah.
have to just honor it where it's at. That makes it it's just being human sometimes has its complications. That's for sure.
Yes.
But no, I love that. That's so true. And actually my sister, if you want to know, she's actually started her own pet intuition. She's a pet psychic. So she's
Cool.
stepping into her own gifts. So see, everything's working out.
It all happens for a reason.
Exactly. So we talked about like pausing, taking a breath. And one thing that I realized that sometimes works too is just thinking of one word that can bring you back into maybe a place of peace or I had this written down because I had a client earlier that shared something with me and I was like, oh, I gotta remember this. Where did I put it? Okay, yes. She said whenever she starts to get frazzled or when she starts to feel off center, when she starts to get anxiety, she says peace, bliss, harmony, happiness, and love. But she goes through each one of them and feels them before she goes on to the next. So she sits with peace for a little bit. What does peace feel like? Can you feel peace? Okay. Bliss. Bliss feels good. Harmony. Happiness and love. I don't know if you guys could feel that, but I could feel each single energy felt different. But it sure did bring me into a place of just centeredness. Anyway, I don't know if you have a word or if you want to do something in regards to something like that, but it definitely does help. Um, Lorraine, were you saying something? Sorry, I feel like I cut you off.
I was just saying it was calming when you said peace.
Right. Yeah, just the word itself. I think that there's so much power. Like you guys have probably heard this before, but like the reason spelling is called spelling is because words create spells. And so your words are very powerful. And so just using one of those words to activate that shift can be helpful for you. Of course, one of my go-to strategies is humor. So like I'm one of those people like be really angry, but then I bring in a joke. I don't know. It's just who I am. It's like I feel like laughter is one of the best ways to make things better, right? And so like that's the reason I put that post today. When I just stepped on the scale and I'm like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, oh wait, whoa, whoa, whoa. Really proud of my progress, and I probably just have to poop. That was like so I like to just, you gotta have fun with it. We're a little too hard on ourselves. We're hard on other people. We don't know where they're at, what they're going through, and sometimes we just our bars for ourselves are raised way too high. We're just not being realistic, or maybe for that day we should just give ourselves a little bit of grace. Um, but no, I think humor is just like one of the go-tos. But it was really fun is I did one day with some of my friends. We came up with like really terrible scenarios and tried to figure out how we would twist that around and pivot that into something good. I don't even remember I don't remember what we said. So, um, when you have those friends, or maybe you've been this yourself, where they are always complaining and they're always talking about, oh, this happened to them and this hurts and they were sick and then they lost this and blah, 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 blah. I don't know. Like they're always continuing to tell this sad story. And you will, as a friend, be like, well, actually, maybe it happened because it was supposed to, or what did you learn from that? Or, you try to help them reframe it. Is there anything that you guys suggest in regards to, reframing thoughts, or have you guys had any stories in regards to doing something like that for friends or family or yourselves?
I know my daughter, when I have a challenge with being late, I don't like to be late. And I get myself tuned up about it. And if I'm driving, um, and someone is not driving how I think they should, trying to stay politically correct, um, and they're driving a little, and I'm just like, God, can you just get out? And my daughter, bless her heart, she goes, yeah, but mom, you know what? You don't know what kind of day they've had. And I was like, oh, you're so forgiving. So, and and so I'm trying to insert that if she's not in the car, um, which she's not as much anymore since she's married out of the house and all that stuff. But um, it's it's come to my mind. I haven't said it out loud when I'm driving and frustrated, but I like it when she's done that. She's reframed it. Hey, wait a minute. Maybe they're driving not considerate because they've really had a bad day. They've just got bad news or whatever. And so that for me, I'm better than I was. I believe that. Um, but that's a reframe that I've done in my head when I'm trying to deal with um, the stress that I put upon myself for being late.
That is an excellent pivot, because I think, it's interesting you say that, you have a challenge being late. So, that would be where your frustration comes from, is probably the way that you want to be perceived, and you want to be on time. And so it goes back so far, like in regards to, are you angry at them? Are you angry at the way that, others will think of you if you're not there on time? Like it's just, there's so many layers to it. But then, interestingly enough, those people that are driving differently than you would probably have those same things, but in different challenges, that
Mhm.
they're going through in regards to, you want to hurry, but maybe they're like, oh, I don't really like the interstate. So I want to go slow because I'm not really comfortable, but I know I need to
Oh,
get to this place or whatever it is. You know what I mean?
oh,
Maybe
that's
because their mother never had confidence in their driving and you know what I don't know, wherever it may go.
like with lateness.
Mhm.
I have no grace for myself if I'm late. Other
Right.
people, I do. I'm like, oh, I understand this, that, whatever. But for myself, mm-mm, no,
Mm-mm.
no, it's
Yes.
yeah, yeah. So that's a reframe that's going to take a little work.
And yeah, let's talk about that for just 1 second. So instead of I really can't be late or I really hate being late, you can say I really respect other people's time. I really want to respect other people's time, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
And by saying that, it may actually change the functionality of your schedule. It may give more flow to your schedule. Isn't that interesting? But that's what they were just showing, like Spirit was just showing me is like it's really if you put that more of that energy out. Have you ever noticed like when kids get ready, they have no absolutely no concept of time.
Fine.
And they're just dallying around and da, 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 and but you've seen people say that we should be more like the children in a lot of ways because they're closer to the divine. They just came from God. Like they're still in that, like they haven't been programmed to think a certain way. And so maybe we should just take a note from them. I'm not saying like time does not exist and you go when you want, but but you definitely need to just give yourself a little bit of grace. And if you had to take an extra 5 minutes to do something at home, be all right with that. And
Yeah.
honestly, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Lucy, but I almost feel that you like to be a little bit early. And so
Oh,
maybe you're
absolutely.
not, yeah, you're not going to be early, but you're going to be just on time. You know what I mean? Like
Oh,
it's
10
okay.
minutes before 10 minutes before I to be somewhere. If I'm
Hmm.
10 minutes, then I'm 10 minutes early. I'm on time. That's in
Yeah,
my
exactly. So I don't know. Interesting. Um, we all have our things and no, it's working out. I think so. Just continue to laugh at yourself too. Be humorous with yourself. Give yourself a little bit of grace. And honestly, try that sometime where you pivot with your friends or maybe you ask for permission to your family. Hey, if I catch you saying anything today, can I help you pivot that? Like I think it helps if we do it back and forth because I did that with my friend. We'd go on our walks and I would start to say, she's like, oh, I don't think you meant that, and then I'd have to take it back and say it the right way. So
okay.
uh, yeah, let's see. And we already talked about the one sh word shift. Basically, it's like I'm not good at this. Instead of not good, just say I'm still learning. I use this all the time when I talk about technology because I want to be like I am no good with Zoom calls but I was like, no, I'm still learning. I really am. I think that helps me and my energy be open to learning because I think a lot of times we get labeled all of these things from very, very small children. We get labeled. And unfortunately, those labels tend to they stick a lot. And I think that we have to acknowledge that. And as you're working through these this empowered mindset, you're going to see that you're doing more than just changing your words and changing how you feel. You're going to be taking a lot of time to dismantle all the programming that's been done to you from very small. And so, and all the regrets that you've had in the past, all the things that you've labeled yourself as well will be changed. So, um, it's a big journey. So I'm glad you guys are here. Don't feel overwhelmed. I want us to take just a small amount, small bits at a time. But we're gonna work together on it. So it's gonna be fun. Let's see. I do have some books that I wanted to recommend if you haven't read them. Um, it's Louise Hay, and she wrote a book, and it's free on YouTube. So you can listen to the audiobook on YouTube, and it's
Ooh,
called You Can Heal Your Life. Also, Dr. Wayne Dyer. his book is on YouTube as well, and it's called Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life. And I believe Excuses Be Gone. I'm not sure if that one is on YouTube for audio or not. But I saw this really cute book by Louise Hay for kids. So if you have kids, or you know, it's called I Think I Am. And so it's just about that mind shift too. And if you guys are around kids at all, it's fun to do this with them as well. Have them help you to pivot, help to keep you accountable. It can be super fun. Um, I know there's a few more books, but these authors are honestly fantastic. They're one of the first two that I ever was introduced to besides Eckhart Tolle. Um, and it changed my world. And actually Eckhart, there's a book there too. I will give you guys more books along the way. But if you guys ever feel like, you know, diving into those, and even I thought about starting a book club too, but you know, I want to start all these things. I'm shifting my words right now because I don't want to, how do I want to say this? In due time, I will do it all. We'll just have to wait and see.
Like that.
Okay. Um, is there any other small wins or anything else that you guys want to share? No matter how small. I know that, like I said, I know we've only been doing this for 2 days, or that you're hoping to be able to work on.
You know, when I started this essential oils, it's probably been about 8, 9 years ago. And the group that I'm part of, they're very positive. And they get together and do a lot of positive stuff. And I learned early on about conscious language, and it's taught me a lot to be more positive and be careful with your words. I mean, and it's powerful. And when I was working on it for a while there, for quite a while ago, a lot of good things happened in my life. Like then it started manifesting what I wanted and stuff. Because when you're more positive and you watch your words, good things happen around you. Like if you're always negative, then negative things are always going to happen around you. So like I try to remind people when they're negative and always like everything always happens bad to me. And I'm like, well, how can you change that? I tell them like, you need to change your mindset and be more positive. And I said, I know it's a rough world out there, but if you change your mind and your words, I said, try that for a little bit and just see what goodness will come from that. And you'll be quite surprised. So I've been trying to remind myself that when I've been having a rough year and a half, whatever, because you get into that fear again and then you forget and you get overwhelmed and then you get into that negativity again. So it's nice that I'm focusing back this last month again and getting to positivity. And when I noticed that I started working on it again, good things started to happen again. And I just have to remember the good things.
Perfect. Oh, thanks for sharing that, Kara. Anyone else? Also, I think this gives us the opportunity, like you had said before, Kara, to be around like-minded individuals, just like your essential oils group. Is like the more we can surround ourselves with like-minded individuals, I think the easier this feat is in order to be held accountable, but also just to share and be able to have that support. So I really appreciate that you guys showed up tonight and that we're able to do this and hopefully just build from here. That's my plan. It's sometimes it's funny how the universe works, you know, in regards to when we create something, we have these expectations of how things should look. And then when it doesn't, when whatever it is doesn't meet our expectations, we can choose to be disappointed, or we can choose to say, what have I learned from this and how can I grow? And I think creating this program and getting the responses that I have and the people that would like to participate in things. There would have been a time in the past where would have said, oh, this isn't working. I'm not sure I want to do this, you know, but what I actually thought this time around is if I can help one person, it's a win. And I feel like not only is it just helping one person, but then they're going to help one person, and it's going to be a snowball. And so we have to realize that our expectations, we can't have an expectations of the outcome. Just know that you have to do what feels right from your heart, what feels right, what makes you feel passionate, what makes you feel alive. And that's why I'm doing this, and that's why I think that all of us are doing whatever it is that makes us feel good. And hopefully, we're our positive thoughts, our conscious thinking, our mindset will be able to not only ground us in our chose or the reality that we'd like to choose, but give us the opportunity to do that for others. And I think that that's a big win. So again, I thank you guys for showing up. Don't forget that I I made a mindset guide. It has some like journaling prompts and such. And there is a pivot tracker, which essentially is just a space for you to keep track of um, things that you have pivoted throughout the week. Those are they are attached to this Zoom call, but they are also I don't know if you guys are a part of the Nika Life Wellness Warriors group. I have them as documents in there as well. And if you aren't a part of either of the, I mean, if you can't access it from the Zoom, I think you should be able to, but you just email me and I'll make sure that you get it. One last question before we go is I want to know, what intentions will you set for yourself for this until next Wednesday? Let's say that.
This is Lorraine. Mine is to try to listen to my inner voice and not listen to the negative thoughts in my head. Try to listen to more positive.
I love that, Lorraine. Yes, listening more to your intuition versus your ego or that fear-based thinking, more in that space of love and empowerment that comes from your intuition. It's something that expands your heart space versus, for me, I'm not sure if this is for everyone, but when it's ego, it's almost like a tightening in my stomach. It's definitely something that makes me feel more restricted. So I guess that's one good way to be able to tell the difference. So, and if there is a time, this is what I'm hearing right now, Lorraine, if this will help, is if you need help kind of accessing that space of love and intuition, you just ask. They're telling me just ask and they will show you, and they may show you through signs throughout the day too. Might be getting ahead of myself because I want that to be my challenge next month. But being able to not only feel empowered from the inside, but starting to see signs on the outside, they're going to let you know you're doing the right thing, you're on the right track, and that you are supported, because this world can feel somewhat lonely, but it isn't. It's just a matter of our perspective and knowing that we are really all supported. And the more we put our energy into that knowing, the more we're going to actually see it show up.
Okay.
Yeah. And for me, I think my intention is to be able to go with the flow. Being able to, like I said, allow things to just flow and not having to have an expectation all the time of the outcome. Being in the present moment is always a consistent practice for me. Is something that spirit has to remind me over and over and over. And I think as an entrepreneur, that is, we're always planning ahead. We're always trying to get things done. Da, 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 da. Like, and so be in the now. So that is what I'm going to set as my intention. Mm-hmm.
For me, I've just been noticing a lot this week that is like what you said, I'm not in the present. Like I'm always going like, okay, what do I need to get done when I get home? What could I be getting done? And so then I've been slow at work, so then I'm trying to think of other things to, keep busy and stuff, and I'm rethinking all this stuff going on throughout the week. So then I finally came home tonight and I just walked around the yard. I'm like, okay, I just need to do this more often, where I just stop thinking and just be, and
Mm.
just let the mind rest, because my mind's been going nonstop, and then I dream at night and the dreams are crazy lately. And so yeah, it's just like my mind's not getting a break, so I need to tell myself to take more breaks.
Thank you. Yes, good. We'll do it together.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm going to join you, Cara. I too want to be more in the now and not doing the because I do that too. And so I'm gonna give myself that. The other intention I have, because I'm fascinated by it, is to look at I'm hopeful that I'm going to give myself, my intention is not hope, I'm going to give myself more time to listen to one of those books. I thoroughly enjoy audio books. I really do like to be read to. And so one of my intentions is to find the time to do that for me.
I love that.
So,
That's perfect, Lucy. Oh, and just so you know, some of them may have been recorded in maybe the early 90s, so there may be some really weird music at the beginning, but I promise it's good stuff once you get past it. Okay. Because yeah,
I'll also look through my library, because I do audiobooks through the library. So I will
that's
find
awesome.
out if they have it in their audio catalog.
Absolutely. It's on YouTube. It's free. I don't know if there's commercials or you know how sometimes
Yeah,
anyway.
ads.
So,
Yeah.
yep. So,
Okay.
well, wow, you guys, this is amazing. Again, bravo. Good job. You're doing it so far. You guys are doing amazing. And I am so grateful to be able to be here to just witness this and be a part of it too. Girls, I'm in it. I'm doing it with you. Like, I think that sometimes it's so good to just kind of do a deep dive back into even practices that you've been practicing, but being more cognitive or like aware. Ooh, I've been catching myself like last 2 days. I'm like, I gotta, yeah, I can't teach other people this if I'm not doing it myself. So anyway, um, I appreciate you. And if you have any questions, if there's anything that you guys, uh, you know, have more questions on, want more resources, please reach out and just let me know. But I look forward to just this journey, this next whole month of just being able to get it out there. I'm going to try to send emails as often as I can. So hopefully you're on my email list. And if not, just let me know. And also, again, if you're part of Nika Life Wellness Warriors, that's where I've been tending to post most of the stuff, like just because I wanted it to be a private group so we're not getting spammed.
Mhm.
And
Is that a Facebook group? Or
yes,
oh, okay.
yep. And if you need any direction in that, just email me and I'll send you the link to it. But otherwise, I do try to send everything out in email too. And I was thinking, now you guys can give me your feedback on this, of to do like a Google group, but I was like, I don't want to put too many things in too many different places where we're like, where are we at? What are we doing? So that's why I thought this would be a Zoom. Most people know Zoom. Just wanted to keep it in a way that we could manage it. So, oh darn it, I was gonna put on the AI companion. It takes notes and I forgot to. Guess next time. It's okay. Everything happens for a reason. Um, but yes, so just let me know if there's anything else. But otherwise, I'll be back. I'll be back here next Wednesday at 7 p.m. But I'll be talking to you guys all along the way too. So
Okay.
Thanks for
anything
doing
else?
it.
Absolutely. You guys,
Email me.
okay, perfect. Um, Lorraine, thank you so much for calling in. I appreciate that too.
Well, how'd you guys do the FaceTime thing?
So through Zoom, you should get a link. I don't know. Do you have a computer or a phone?
I have a iPhone.
Okay, yeah. So you can download the Zoom app, and
Okay.
then when you click on the link, it'll automatically open your app, and then it'll use your phone camera.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, and yeah, let me know if you need any help with that. I don't know. I mean, I'm working on being better at technology, so I'm sure I can help.
And I can help too. Yeah.
I did it. You
Okay.
guys, I did it.
We can all help. Yes.
Right?
I was
Perfect.
gonna say, when it comes to technology, I'm not very good at it.
Actually, what you meant was is you're working on it, right?
I'm working on it. I'm sorry. Yes, I'm working on it.
That's right. It's okay. All right. Well, thanks so much, guys. I want you to have a blessed night, and we'll connect soon.
Thank you.
Okay. Night.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye now.